50 years ago, in 1958, NASA, known as National Aeronautics and Space Administration, was spearheaded by President Dwight Eisenhower as the means for America to explore space. It was in 1961 that John F. Kennedy challenged NASA, by the end of the decade, get a man to the moon and return him safely. NASA developed several different programs in order to attempt to accomplish that goal. The Mercury, which was responsible for getting man to orbit the Earth. Gemini, which helped man to go out into space. And then Apollo, whose goal was to get man to the moon. 1968 was an eventful year, nationally and globally. Both Robert F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King were assassinated. The Vietnam War accelerated, and there was riots throughout the college campuses in the nation. Soviet Union invaded Czechoslovakia, and there was turmoil throughout the world. However, this did not deter NASA. And in December of 1968, man was sent out into space in order to orbit the moon. It was December the 21st, and the astronauts were Commander Frank Borman, Commander Module Pilot Jen Lovell, and Lunar Module Pilot William Anders. The mission took 3 days to travel to the moon and completed 10 orbits in 20 hours. When NASA talked to the men, they asked, what does the moon look like from 60 miles away? And the astronauts described it, a vast loneliness. They described it as seeing the moon looking like pumice. Someone else saw, I see the lunar sunsets and sunrise. Desolate, beautiful. All these different words were used to describe being out in space and looking at the moon and looking at Earth. During the 9th orbit, the astronauts sent back pictures. The most famous shot that was ever taken from space, showing Earth just hanging over the horizon of the moon. And as the crew made their 10th orbit around the moon, it was Christmas Eve. And the astronauts had thought ahead of time, what message would they say to the world on that event? Christmas Eve, and being so close to the works of the Creator. Well, Frank Borman pulled out a fireproof paper for the message. It was the most watched broadcast to date. And the astronauts who had spent so much time preparing then said, for all the people on Earth, the crew of Apollo 8 has a message we would like to send you. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from darkness. The second astronaut, Jim Lovell, continued with the reading. And God created the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. God divided the waters, and also from the firmament. The firmament he called heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. The third astronaut continued with the reading. And God said, "Let the waters and the heavens be gathered together unto one place." And the dry land appeared, and it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. And Commander Borman then said, "From the crew of Apollo 8, we close with good night, good luck, Merry Christmas, and God bless you men, all of goodwill." 4 months later, the Apollo sent man to the moon.